Morning, everyone. Morning, Bruna. The sun is out. Hurrah! And I've got my new, funky new leggings on, my sunflower leggings today. So who have we got in? Oh, Bertie. Oh, we've got everybody in today. Bertie, Bissy, Bruna, Kiara, Jane, Kaz. Oh, Shalink, are you new, Shalink? Is that how I say your name? I'm Karen. This is a session for Active Newham. We're based in East London in Newham. So if you're in Newham, let us know if you're new and you're in Newham or wherever you are in the world. Please put a little comment in the chat to let us know where you're from. Oh, Kiara's still in sunny Italy. That's fine, Kiara. We don't mind today because it's sunny here. Although it was raining yesterday all day. But that's fine because the plants probably needed a little bit of it. And other than my walk, which was cancelled, I hadn't got anything outdoors. So whereas today I've got an outdoor session and then I'm doing a kids session this afternoon. So I really did not want it to rain today. Oh, you're from Singapore. Wow. Cool. Thank you for joining us. Excellent. So we are really doing global today. Anybody that's new, please, if you've got any injuries or any issues that you're working with today, this is going to be an inclusive class. So we're going to do some standing work. You can do the whole class standing if you want to, as well as some mat-based stuff. But you can do the whole class standing if you need to, or even seated on chair. If you've got a chair, you want to do some seated stuff, all of the exercises can be done standing or seated or adapted to be standing or seated. So please do let us know if you have any injuries or any issues so that I can adapt if I need to anything for you. You can put it in the chat just to the panelists so you're not declaring it to the whole world now. Now we have in Singapore, we had somebody from Utah on Wednesday night. It was amazing. So anyway, my name's Karen again. I'm at Fit to Relax London. So I am based in London. Do a lot of corporate classes, a lot of these online ones with Active Newham, and also now our park-based ones. That's really good. And today I have my funky new leggings on. Well, it's catsuit actually, but I've got my funky new sunflower leggings on. So let's come up to stand. And if you have any issues throughout class, please put them in the chat. The lovely Lisa is with us today, so she'll be just monitoring the chat if she needs to. Let me just make sure you can see my feet. Go that a little bit. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm just about seeing my feet. So come to a standing position, just on your mat or on your towel, wherever you are. So standing position. Always get my camera in a different place. I don't know why. I always put it in the same place, but it always seems to just take it slightly to a different place when I'm doing it. Good. Okay, so we're starting off with our nice standing Pilates posture. So feet flat on the ground, hip width apart, and just think about bringing the weight forwards and backwards and side to side. So feet, so important in our posture. I did a foot workshop a couple of weeks ago and talked about it, and I'm going to do another one in a couple of, well, maybe a month or so's time. So making sure when you're standing that you can feel the little toe and the big toe connection on the ground, and you've got a little bit of weight also back on your heels. So this rocking just sideways and forwards and backwards to begin with starts to test your balance. So if you've got any balance issues, you can always have a chair or come near a wall and just start to just come side to side, backwards and forwards, and then try and find a point where you feel like you've got your balance on your little toe and your big toe on each foot, but a little bit of weight into your heel. Pulling that weight back also starts to activate our pelvic floor, so very important for women, but also just general for posture. So think about from there, think about squeezing up through your feet. So you want to try and squeeze up, so you're lifting up the arches, pulling all your energy up through your legs, soft knees, pulling up as if you're zipping up a zip into your belly button, drawing the belly button to the spine, gently so that you've got that relaxed through the pelvis. And then circle the shoulders back and down so the shoulder blades are open. And then just lifting them, make sure the chin is nice and in line. So finding this posture, and throughout class, if we're doing anything standing, once we've come down or into a different move or different posture, we come back up to standing, try and find this nice posture, pulling up through that pelvic floor. So we're just going to breathe to begin with. So we're going to breathe as if we're zipping up our trousers and pulling our belly button in, breathing in, and then breathing out. Now, when we come into most Pilates, we're going to do this on the outward breath, but to begin with, we're going to do it on the inward breath. So breathing in, zipping up, pushing down on the feet, pulling in with the belly button, and releasing down. Good. 2 more. Let me just check the chat, see if anybody's put any comments about anything in. Cool. Okay. So no issues today. If you are doing the whole class standing, again, just put a little note in the chat so I know. So then we're going to start to think about circling the shoulders. So this time we're going to breathe in and lift the shoulders up. As you breathe out, find that strong core. So zipping up as you breathe out. So breathe in and breathe out. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. So long, deep breaths through the nose, in through the nose. You can do in through the nose or out through the mouth, out through the mouth or out through the nose. Good. Then hold the shoulder blades back. Just take the chin down to the chest. So breathing out, chin to chest. Breathing in, lifting up and circling to the side, turning the head to one side. So don't push it too far to begin with. Just notice where it wants to go to. And then at the end of class, we'll also do this and see if we've increased, if there's any tension in the neck or the shoulders, see if we've managed to release any. Good. Come back to the center. So always good first thing in the morning, circle the shoulders again. To circle the shoulders, release any tension in the head. And just by doing shoulder circles, really slow ones, focusing on the whole range of movement. Good. 1 more shoulder circle, then take the hands to the shoulders, circle the elbows. So again, trying to lift those elbows up towards the face and then taking them all the way back. Good. Circle the shoulders the opposite way, circle them forwards, keep that connection with the feet. One more. Good. And then today we're going to come to a bit more of an active moving mobilizer today. So bring the hands out in front, palms together, feet still that hip width distance. We're going to open up with the right arm, but as we open up with the right arm, we're going to come up onto the left foot. So bring the left heel off the floor and just rotate through the hip. So we're just going to lift that left hip, left toe, left heel even, and take the right arm out to the side. So we'll just do 6 on this side. This is opening up in our hips and opening a little bit into our shoulders, and then come back to the center and go the opposite way. So opening out, you can follow the thumb with the eyes if the head feels okay, or just take it gently to the side, just gentle to start with. And you can come a little bit wider with the feet if you need to. Good. Come back to the center. Come back to the center, circle the shoulders. And then let's take a side bend. So hands to the side of the body and take a side bend. So breathing in, squeeze that bottom underneath just gently. Pull up with your zip to get a nice, strong, straight core. And then just come gently down. Try and keep the head in line so you're not dropping the ear too far down. We'll just do the same side. So we're going to do 5 on one side. Breathing out, breathing down. Good. And then 5 to the opposite side. Coming back, opposite side. So the other thing to say, obviously, now we're getting a bit warmer. If you're still exercising indoors, do make sure you have a window open. You've got some water. and you've got something looser and more comfortable to wear. I've got some new leggings because they're a little bit looser than my other ones, and just giving me a bit more room to breathe. Good. Let's take the shoulders again, roll back. This time we're going to come into a tilt. So one hand on the belly and one hand gently on the bottom. And just think about this zip again. So all we're going to do is zip up as we breathe in and squeeze our bottom just a little, but keep the knees soft. So we're not forcing the hips under. We're just trying to find that natural tilt of the pelvis. So, but just by pulling up. So pull up, pelvic floor, squeezing. So pelvic floor, you're pulling up almost from the inside for those that aren't familiar with pelvic floor exercises. It's amazing the difference it makes to your core. So if anybody comes to me now and says, I want to lose my belly, first thing I think about is pelvic floor, not abdominals, because it doesn't matter how much you work your abdominals if you haven't got that inner strength with your pelvic floor. And also, I'm sorry, but pelvic floor is far more important for your general health than having a six-pack. So release out. Good. Then we're going to open this hip up. So you can either do this one with the foot on the floor and just rotate that ankle and the knee out, or you can lift up, pulling in that core this time. So drawing your navel towards your spine, lift the knee and take that knee, rotate it out to the side. So you're rotating out through this hip into the muscles of the glutes at the back in the bottom. Good. We're going to do 6 on one side. You needn't lift it as high. You can keep it nice and low. Higher you lift it, the more you're working the core as well as working the hip. Good. Let's try other side. So lifting it out, tapping down if you want to test the balance, placing the foot all the way down if you're a little unsteady, or if you have any knee issues, just keep that foot a little lower, contact with the floor. So 6 on one side, 6 on the opposite side, and then just march through the feet. Just a little march. Good. We're going to come to roll down with a difference. So take it nice and slow. If you've got any back issues or neck issues, especially any osteoarthritis, not too far down, just a gentle curl down through the spine. Otherwise, we're going to try and articulate the spine this morning. So I want you to imagine you've got a plate of glass behind your back and you can't stick your bottom out as much as you want to. So we're going to come forwards, just upper body. So pull in here at the pelvic floor, draw up pelvic floor, squeeze bottom under, soften the knees. And then just think about dropping the chin down. So we're not going to move the shoulders yet today. We're just dropping the chin down and then allowing the hands to just slide down the thighs. And have a look at your feet, see what they're doing. Mine was just turning a little out on that right leg again. Come all the way down, just so keep that bottom turned on. So you might not go far, but it should maybe feel a little stretch in the neck and upper back. This is where I want to articulate first, and then come all the way back up. Good. And again, so we're just going to work neck and upper back today. So just dropping the chin down, keep the knees soft, bring the weight forward. So try and bring the weight forwards over your toes. So you're bringing the weight forwards. You're not sticking the bottom back. Just coming to where maybe feels a gentle stretch, might feel tight in the neck. Remember we said at the beginning of class, neck might feel tight first thing in the morning. Depends how you've slept sometimes. Good. Come all the way back up, circle the shoulders back. So if you weren't sure about that one, have a little look. I'm going to do one more. So have a look at mine and then we're going to do 2 more and then we're going to come further down. So if you're not sure about that one or whether it felt right, whether you're doing the right thing, just have a little look. So we're going to squeeze the bottom under, drop the chin down and just bring the weight. So I've still got the weight on my heels, not coming forwards too far on my toes, but I'm not sticking my bottom out and putting all the weight on my heels. Just coming forwards, gentle weight forwards, bringing the weight forwards. I can really feel that in my shoulders and my neck a little this morning. Coming all the way back up, slowly circle the shoulders. So we're just going to do one more like that, and then we're going to release into the arms. So this time, take that roll, come forwards, just shoulders, just head and shoulders. So just head and shoulders, coming down to where it wants to go. Then you are just going to soften through the bottom, one hand on the thigh, and then take the other arm, just let it drop down. So I've got one hand on my thigh, just for support, still bringing the weight forwards, pulling up in the belly. Arm just drops, so it's as heavy as it can be. And then just circle that arm one way. So this is a really nice shoulder release. And then circle it the opposite way. And then rolling all the way up. So this time we're going to circle the shoulders backwards. We're going to float up onto the toes, float the arms. So float up onto toes, float arms. Good, let's go up the same side again. So rolling forwards, get that roll forwards to start with, just the shoulders and the head, and then let go, hand on thigh, let go with that arm. Just releasing any tension in those shoulders. So it's really important to mobilize before you try and strengthen into an area. So if you have a pre-existing injury or you're just a little bit stiff in one area, just need to mobilize it before you start to think about strengthening it. Come up into the calf raise, float the arms. So we'll go the opposite side. So in terms of whenever, especially if you're dealing with an injury or pain, always try and work mindfully so that it's not painful. There will be some pain, but it's a different pain between a stretch or a little bit of a challenge to that intense pain, that sudden pain. So if you're thinking of working, come all the way back up. You want to feel like you're having a stretch. Muscles aren't going to be, if they're not feeling anything, then you're not, they're not doing anything. So there has to be a little bit of tension or a little bit of pain or whatever you want to call it. Don't like to call it pain, I like to call it challenge. So you do need to feel something working in the muscles, but not that sudden shooting pain that means that actually there's something not quite right or you're overdoing it. Roll all the way up. Circle shoulders backwards, float up onto the toes and release. Good. Now we're going to come a little bit further. So we're going to come down with our roll down. You have the option to come out to plank just to test the wrists, give a little bit of wrist strength, or you can just roll straight back up. So we're going to roll the shoulders forwards, come all the way down, breathing in. You can bend the knees if you need to. Once you've got to your point where that's as far as your hamstrings want to let you go. Bend the knees if you need to. Place the hands on the floor, thumbs with fingers, walk them all the way out. So come out into your plank. Make sure these elbows are turning in. Soft bend if you know you're hypermobile or you have any issues with shoulders. Hold just for a second. Crown of head going towards the front of the mat. And then come all the way back in. If you're only doing the roll down, just roll down and roll back up. Do 2 roll downs. Rolling back up, relaxing the shoulders, coming all the way back up. When we get to the top, we're going to do a squat. So keep the feet hip width apart and then take your bottom back. So back onto the heels. So coming back onto the heels and then coming all the way back up. Good. We're going to do 4 of these today. So rolling down. Going to give you another option when you get to the plank on the final 2. So again, if you're not doing the plank, just do 2 roll downs. So coming out to that plank, watch these elbows, nice and strong, draw the belly up, make sure the little toes are still on the ground, crown of head going forwards, and then coming all the way back. Try and keep the hips in line when you come back. So coming all the way back, bending the knees, rolling up through the spine. Circle shoulders back, come into that squat. Good. This time when we come down, rolling down, we're going to roll down. Again, if you want to do 2, just do the 2 roll downs. We're going to come out into our plank. We're going to do opposite knee to elbow this time if you want to. So keep those elbows turned in. Opposite knee to elbow. You can bring the knees down to the ground. Opposite knee to elbow. We're going to do 2 on each side. So keep that crown of the head. Nose looking down towards the knees. 2 cross curls with these knees in. And then turn the toes under. Walk the hands back again. Heels down. Walking all the way, rolling back up. And we get to the top of the mat, 2 squats this time. So 2 squats. So if you're just doing the roll down, you can add the squats on at the top, or you can add a knee lift. So when you come back down, we're going to do 1 more roll down. So for those of you rolling down, roll down, roll down, go out to your plank, take your cross curl. If you're just doing the roll down, come all the way back up. When you come back up, then you can do the cross curl here. So you can do a knee to elbow to knee. So you're doing the same kind of exercise, but you're doing standing. So when you've done the last one, rolling down, and you come out to plank, come all the way back, roll all the way back up, circle shoulders backwards, come into that squat, releasing down. Good, and again, 1 more. Good, so we're going to roll down. We're going to do our thread the needle, but I'm going to show you it standing to start with, just in case you don't want to come down to the floor. So 2 options with thread the needle standing. And either bend the knees, bring the weight onto the thigh, come through with the arm to the side. It won't go as far, and you can come out to the side and lift up when we come up. Or you can do the open, this one, it's not quite the same, but it is opening up through the shoulders. So you can just do open book. So just opening to one side, opening to the opposite side. So those are your 2 options while we come down and do thread the needle. Rolling down, if you're coming down, roll down, coming down onto the hands, and then walk the hands out, come into your plank. Plank first if you want to, and then on to all fours. So all fours, bend the knees. We're going to come into that thread the needle. So elbows facing inwards, and then taking that right hand to begin with, feed it underneath the left hand, bring the shoulder down towards the ground, left arm reaches all the way through. We're coming down towards the ground. Let me see if I can turn that round in the opposite way. See me a little bit more. Good, so coming down, we're going to come all the way underneath, bring that head down to the ground, elbow down, just pressing up a little bit through this arm, and then come all the way back, feed it all the way back into your 4-point kneeling. So 4-point kneeling, and then feed it the opposite way. Good, so feeding the opposite way, take it underneath, all the way through, shoulder down to the ground, and then come all the way back. So let's do 3 on each side. So taking it over to the opposite side again, just feeding it through. Feeding it all the way through. Just coming all the way through. Releasing down. Keep these hips in line, so drop the hips down. Make sure the head's not popping out. You've got that head chin tucked in towards, looking towards your arm that's on the ground, and come all the way back. Watch the elbows as you come back. Opposite side, so coming all the way through. Coming all the way back. Good, then take a cat-cow. So coming into cat-cow, we're working from the base of the spine. I'm going to take my top off just for a second so you can see, not so you can see my pants, so you can see my bottom and my belly. So coming nice flat back to begin with, draw the belly in, and then rounding through the spine. So you're going to breathe and round through the spine, and then breathe and release through the spine. So releasing through the spine, head comes up last, And then again, so working from the spine, from the tail, draw the belly in, working through from the spine, and then releasing from the spine, drawing the head up last. We're going to come to moving cat. So take a breath in, round through the spine, drawing the belly button in, head looks through to the knees, and then take a stretch back. So breathing out, come all the way back. Coming all the way back, and then come back up to a 4-point kneeling, flatten the back out, shoulders down the spine, and then releasing through the spine. Good, let's go again. So breathing in, rounding through the spine, breathing out, sitting all the way back, down, releasing back onto all fours. If you're standing, I didn't do the standing option. If you're standing hand on thighs, you can just do the rounding through the spine and opening up through the spine. So you can still do cat-cow standing or seated. Good, let's do one more round if we're down here. So rounding through the spine, sitting back onto the ankles, finding that stretch, head relaxes, coming all the way back. And then releasing through the spine. Come back to neutral. So we're going to do our pointer. So we're going to start with the arms and then come into the legs. Make sure elbows are not screwing back inwards. If you have this issue where the elbow is doing this, keep the elbow bent. So you just decide what the elbows are doing, as I can't see you. Just have a look at yourself in your screen and see what they're doing, and keep them bent if you need to. So pulling the belly in nice and strong. We're just going to work with the arms to start with. So breathing in, you're just going to slide one hand forwards, lift the arm up, take it up towards the ear, and then bring it back, coming all the way back in. If you're standing, we can just do this movement. So the same kind of movement, you're just lifting the arm above the head, nice and strong, and releasing down, making sure this shoulder doesn't pop up. So shoulder stays down. You can always put one hand there and just lifting the arm up and releasing it back down. Just noticing how mobile you are on that side, and then change sides. So you can either alternate, or you can do 3 on the same side. So 3 on the same side is going to strengthen maybe a little bit more through that one wrist, make you a little bit more aware of what each side is doing. But alternating also can help to highlight whether there is any difference between one side and the other, and gives those wrists a little rest. So 3 on one side, 3 on the other, and then sit back and take a child's pose. If you're standing up, you can take a roll down just to release through the spine. And if this position isn't comfortable on the knees, then just come into cat-cow. So it's just a release for the spine. So you want to find something releasing for the spine and something just to take the pressure off the wrists for a moment. So your choice entirely. Good, let's come into the legs this time. So I'll come the opposite way around. So again, we're going to, with the legs, make sure the elbows are bent, hip width apart. We're going to slide one leg all the way back. So the foot is still in contact with the floor. Then we're going to pull in with the belly, squeeze the bottom and lift the leg. So we want to be lifting the leg straight in a straight line rather than up towards the ceiling and letting the belly drop. So pull the belly in, straight all the way out, and then come all the way back in. Now just watch these feet. So make sure the feet are, you've got that little toe big connection on the ground, and as you take the leg back, that little toe big connection is staying, and your hip is staying rolled down. It's not rolling out to the side. Roll the hip back down to the ground. Keep that little toe big connection on the ground. Bring it all the way back. So 3 on each side. Focus on the precision of the movement. If you're working a little bit too quick and you're just taking the leg out, there is a danger this hip is going to rotate and you're not going to feel the controlling through the core. So really slowly, and then as you come back, this core is allowing the legs to come back. It's controlling it. You're not just dropping it down. So really think mindfully, and you'll get that core workout. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, I think, with some of you. You should get that core workout from Pilates, even when we're not working the core. Good. So we're going to take mind. We're going to take arm and leg this time. So you can do it again, standing up, just opposite arm, opposite leg. So we're going to take opposite arm, opposite leg out, breathing out. And then come all the way back. If you want to make it harder, bring the knee in and tap the hand or the elbow in between, and then come out again on the same leg. So options to make it harder. If you're standing, opposite arm, opposite leg, you can take it forwards or you can take it back. So your choice if you're standing, and you can obviously hold a chair if you need to. So 2 more on each side. If you need to rest in between, come into cat-cow or child's pose. Remember, you can bring this knee into the elbow, take it in, and then come all the way back out again, challenging the core, and then come all the way back down. Good. When you've done the last one again, find that child's pose. Relax the arms through the wrists. Oh, it's getting warm in here. I've got the window open as well today. Take it the opposite way. Good. And then come and sit on the bottom. Bring the legs around to the front. Come and sit onto the bottom for our roll downs. So again, you can do this one seated. There is a standing option I'll show you in a second. Otherwise, we're going to do our roll downs for our core. So come with the knees bent, back nice and straight to begin with, chin lifting up. Hands you can have underneath the thighs if you want to, or out in front. So think about sitting tall up onto the sit bones, and then when you're ready to breathe out, just rolling gently down. So breathing out, find that gentle roll. Just as far as you want to go, a little bit further for those that have been coming for the whole 18 weeks now. Should be able to go a little further. And then sitting all the way back up, sit nice and tall. And again, so just gently rolling down, breathing out. Pulling that belly button towards the spine, and then coming all the way back up. If you're struggling to come back up, don't come as low down to begin with. So make it a nice flowing, easy movement. So coming down to where your core will allow, breathing out, and then coming gently all the way back up. The strength will come if you don't force it. So 2 more, and then just come gently forwards and release. So just forwards and release. So if you're standing again, you can do that rounding. So you can do rounding down and coming all the way back up. Working the core a little bit. And then we're going to add on a knee lift. So again, if you're standing, you can add a standing knee lift on. So we're going to roll down today. We're going to roll down, breathe out, just to where we want to go. And then when we come back up, we're going to try and lift the leg. Pull the belly in, just lift the toe off the ground. Doesn't have to be hard. So, but just try not to lean back and sink again. So pulling in with the core, lifting the leg. And then rolling down again. So rolling down, tucking the chin in a little towards the chest, thinking you've got an orange or something underneath. Come all the way back up, sit tall, lift the leg. So we'll do 4 on each side. Remember, if you don't want the challenge of the leg, just come to the roll down. And if you're feeling any pressure in the base of the spine or the coccyx, let me know there's an alternative to this movement. So breathing out, coming down, releasing through the spine, coming all the way back up. And if you want to come all the way down to your full roll down, you can. Breathing in, take the knee up. For those that know full roll down, you can come all the way down. And if you want to, we're going to do 2 more. You can have a rest at any time. If you want to, you can start to lift the leg and keep it up as you start to roll down. So you can come into your mini roll down, just lifting the leg to begin with. And then lifting it up as soon as you come back up. So your challenge, your workout. Come forwards when you finish, just have a little release over the legs. 1 or 2 more if you're still working. And then just come to seated with the knees in front or standing. And we're just going to open out through the legs. So this movement, if you're seated, if you're standing, just take that knee roll we started off with. So just roll the knees out. Otherwise, just a gentle twist. 2 more. Good. So we've worked the core. We're going to work the back a little bit more now. So we're going to come to the opposite of that pointer on the back. We're going to do lifting our arms to begin with, then our legs, and then opposite arm, opposite leg. So again, if you're standing, you can just do this one with standing. I'm going to show you a couple of more options though. So if you're coming down onto the mat, you want to lie on the belly, come down to belly. I will show you some options, other options. So you can stay seated if you want to. Stay seated anyway, just to watch if you're not familiar with this one. So feet hip width apart, one hand under head, other hand out in front, thumb facing up. Draw the belly button in. So imagine you're trying to pull your belly button off the mat and gentle squeeze through the bottom. So to begin with, we're just going to we'll work left arm to start with. So we're just going to lift the left arm and lower. We're going to do 6. So just to where it wants to go, lifting left arm, lowering left arm, pulling that belly button in, really focusing on the strength through the core as you do the movement. And then 6 on the right. If you're seated, you can do this same movement seated, even seated on the mat if you don't want to come onto the belly. So you're just going to lift up, but really focus this time on squeezing that thumb back as far as it will go, rather than just a reach, rather than a mobility reach. We're actually going to focus on squeezing up and coming back. So squeezing up. Good, and the same standing, but really squeeze that thumb back. And then release. Good. When you've done 6 on both sides, we're going to move to the legs. So on the ground, we're just going to squeeze through the bottom again, pull this belly button up. So you're not pushing the hips up, but you're just thinking about pulling the belly button up, squeezing the hips down. We're just going to lift the back leg. So keeping those hips squeezing down, hips don't move, bottom doesn't move, squeeze down, lift that back leg. So lifting up. Squeezing up. If you don't want to come onto the belly, you can do the pointer again and just focus on that lift. So instead of bringing the leg in and out, you're just going to focus on squeezing up, gentle move, keeping that belly strong so you're not arching through the back, just squeezing up. And if you're standing, just that gentle push back. So you can just take the foot back, squeeze the bottom, come back in. So gentle squeeze back, come back in. So there's always an alternative. Always. Even if it's not quite the same movement, always an alternative. So when you've done 6 on each side, let's come to opposite arm, opposite leg. So focusing on one hand underneath, so we're really focused on the movement. Draw the belly in. Opposite arm, opposite leg. So squeezing up. Now remember this connection, little toe, big toe. So making sure that you're not rotating out through the hip. So taking it up and trying to get this shoulder pulled back down. So again, you're not opening up, you're not bringing the shoulder too high up towards the ear. Really focusing on that openness. So 6 on one side, 6 on the other. Then you can do it with the head down and do opposite arm, opposite leg, just bringing the nose off the ground, but keeping thinking, keeping strong through the core. So you can do opposite arm, opposite leg swimming. Is a little bit more stressful on the shoulders if you've got any shoulder issues. And you've still got to make sure you're getting that correct movement. Haven't sort of just, you're not just flinging the arms and the legs up. You're moving to protect the back. When you've done the last one, come down if you're on the floor, hands underneath head. And then take a press back. Come into a nice extended child's pose. Take the arms all the way out. And we're going to take a side stretch for the sideways. So walk the hands over to the right side. Over to the right side, feeling this stretch down the left side of the body. If you're seated or standing, just a side stretch. So you're just going to come over with the arm, over the top of the body. Come back to the center if you're in the child's pose, and take the arms the opposite way. So you're aiming to keep your head in between your hands, equal distance. You're aiming your nose to get round towards your knee, but only by moving the hands and keeping the head in the center. No cheating. Good, just feeling that stretch down the side of the body. And again, making sure there's no issues in the knees. Coming back to the center. And release that. If you find child's pose is an issue and you can't get the bottom down to the heels, you can always get a cushion underneath. Have a cushion handy or towel handy, rolled up towel, just to put under there when you're finishing. Good. We're going to finish off with triceps and a little bit of work for the hamstrings. So if you're seated, or if you're standing, come to seated, or just come to if you're standing, let me know. If you're seated, come to seated, or come with the legs out long for our hamstrings. So draw the belly in, and we're just going to walk the hands forwards. Keep the back straight. So today, pulling the belly in, feet coming back, and just walking the hands forwards. All the way forwards. Relax the shoulders. So if you are seated, you can just do it with you. If you're seated or standing, do it with one leg out in front and come forwards into that hamstring stretch. Release the tension off and come into a cross-legged position or into a seated position. It's not comfortable cross-leg. Bring the legs back out into this position. Nice wide legs wherever it's comfortable. But if you can sit cross-legged, or again, grab a cushion underneath bottom. So we're going to stretch out in the triceps. So take the right arm above the head, take it behind into the neck, and just feel underneath this shoulder, and just start to gently massage, just a gentle massage. Notice how tight that tricep is, or how it feels, whether there's any tension anywhere. And then start to just gently, just below the elbow, not on the elbow, just gently start to try and ease that elbow a little bit further up towards the ceiling. Pull in through the core to sit nice and strong, just easing that elbow open. So we're opening up the shoulder the opposite way, trying to open up into the shoulder, stretching here in the triceps. And then relax the shoulder, elbow down, and circle the shoulder round. Just circling the shoulder backwards. Good, and then let's take that hamstring stretch again before we do the opposite side. So bringing the legs out long in front, get rid of that fleshy part, the bottom underneath, make sure the ankles are level, and then just bring your weight forward. So try and keep the back straight, belly pulled in, just bring the weight forwards. And have a look at those feet. Have they started to roll one way or the other? Does one foot roll in? Does the other foot roll in? Try and keep, remember we said about that connection with the floor. Imagine you're still got that connection with the floor, so the big toes and the little toes are still level. And see what that does to the knees. So if your knees roll, if your feet roll out, just see what that does to your knees. Because that's where sometimes we're putting pressure on our knees and our hips if our legs roll inwards or outwards. Releasing all the way out. Come into cross leg, try and cross them the opposite way to the first time. And lift that opposite arm above the head. Take the hand down just into the middle of the neck and then just massage through that tricep. Just a gentle little massage. And then just trying to lift that elbow a little higher. Hold and breathe. Draw the belly in, sit nice and strong. Breathing deeply, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Close the eyes if you want to. And then bring the hand onto the shoulder, circle the elbow backwards. Good, let's take that head drop again we started with. So see how the neck and the head feel now. So drop the chin down to the chest, breathe out, pull the belly button in. And then lifting the head up. Turn it gently to one side, breathing out. Keep the shoulders relaxed, come back to the center. Come back down into the center, breathing out. I just noticed I got some little bees on my leggings. I thought it was just butterflies, but there is a odd little bee. Going back to the opposite side, turn the head to one side. Come back to the center. Good, one more, drop it down. Back to the center. So yeah, sunflowers are important for our bees and our butterflies. Although the slugs have eaten most of mine this year, so I'm going to have to plant some more. Release down. Back to the center. Last one, turn the head to the side. Just notice how that feels. Back to the center. And then take the arms, both arms above the head. Just reach above the head. See how easy that is to do. How it feels in the shoulders. And then releasing all the way back down. We take a gentle twist. So we're just going to twist through the body. Come back to the center. Just not holding it today. Just a gentle twist. So twisting is good for the digestion. Come back to the center. Gentle twist. Back to the center. Last one. Gentle twist. Back to the center. And again, reach the arms up above the head. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Bring the hands back into the heart space. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that session today. So we do have, we have had an extension. Woo, we've got 2 more weeks. So for those that are new today, you're in luck. There are 2 more weeks to these sessions on a Saturday morning. Although it is starting to get a little bit warm in my room for delivery. I'm going to give you my website address online in case you want to look at anything else that I do. It's www.fittorelax.london, and I'll put my email in the chat as well. If you want any more information on any of the active Newham sessions, obviously get in touch with them. Lisa will probably put her email in there for that, especially the walking groups that are starting. We've got a couple of walking groups for pre and postnatal in Newham, but I'm still Zooming some of my sessions, including the trigger point. I'm doing live now and Zoom. So you've still got those options, even those people that aren't in the UK. If you want to have a look at my sessions, you're more than welcome. So, oh, Mary, you came in. I didn't see you come in. Thank you for coming in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got a good workout last night as well. Francis as well, thank you for coming in, and Syra. I didn't notice you coming in at the beginning. So if you've got any questions on any of the sessions or anything that we did today, just put it quickly in the chat. We'll try and have a look at it. Yeah, come and join our walks on Tuesday and a Sunday. Yeah, we're going to do Sunday walks for a couple of weeks.